Okay, so we are live. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching from the world. Hi, I am Dr. Susie Jacob, coming live from my page, Dr. Susie and Lewis Digi World. And today I have a special guest with me, all the way from Pennsylvania, USA, to share a bit about his journey in the business space. He's a good friend, a mentor, and a coach to me. And hi, Rishad. So, how's it going?
Very good, very good, Susie. Thanks for this kind of short talk and the invite to your page. How are you doing? How is things happening in UK?
It's fine. It is after a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah,
nice, sunny
yeah.
bank holiday weekend. So,
Yeah.
everyone's out in the sun.
Okay. So it's bank holiday there as well.
Yes, it is. It's the spring bank holiday, we call it here.
Oh, okay, okay. We have Memorial Day today, so yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so two holidays, public holidays in two
Yeah,
different
yeah,
countries.
yeah, yeah,
Fantastic,
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Anyway, Rishad, thank you so much. Yesterday I was thinking it's been a couple of weeks since I've been live on my page. Usually I like being live once a week, and I was like, okay, I know I have to go live on my page. Usually, just to speak and inspire our audience. And I was thinking, oh, but don't have anyone in mind. And I thought, let me give you a quick message. And you were so prompt to reply, so thank you so much for the short notice and your you spending your holiday
No
holiday
problem,
time
Susie.
to
No
speak
problem.
to our audience.
Yeah, yeah, no problem at all. No problem. Anytime.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, as you all know, probably who are following me know that I'm a doctor. I'm a GP from the UK, and I live in the UK with my husband, who's a chef, and my 14-year-old daughter. And we both, me and Rishad, we run a digital business quite successfully. That too. But I will leave it to Rishad to introduce himself to the audience. Over to you, Rishad.
Oh, thanks, Susie. And again, thanks for the invite. So my name is Rishad, and then I know that this page is also live. So basically, Sharon is the one who is doing lives constantly. So we both do business together, and what we do is provide training and mentorship for anybody who wants to do a business in the online space. So we coach and mentor people from many walks of life. And before coming to this business or part of this business, or just introduce myself, like I work as on the management side of nursing, so I work as a unit manager. I am a homeopathic doctor, and then I have a master's in physician associate studies. I've done a master's in healthcare management, so it's kind of primarily concentrating on healthcare sector. But most importantly, the one thing that we are so passionate about is help people to build online businesses.
Well, you've got quite a mixed bag there. And sometimes I think, like, people like medical professionals like us, people always wonder why we enter the space. And no, and one of the things are like, because we think the only way, when we were, now eons ago for you and I think, but the only way we could make money is trading our time, and that's why we study so hard, do our masters, climb up the career ladder. Like, I'm also in a management level post, climbed up the career ladder, and quite successful even in my profession. But still there comes a point when things change. But in your case, I believe it wasn't you who wanted the change, it was your dear wife, Sharon.
That's true. Like, as you said, like when you began talking about this, Susie, you were saying that, once we are into the society or with the way we are brought up, we are always tuned in the way that you have to study hard, work hard, climb up the ladder, as you have successfully done, Susie. Because when we look at us from from India, like, what is the most aspiring job one could have? Being a doctor. Okay, and that is what you are. And then on top of that, you are, I think you are a lead in the management sector even there. So when you look at career wise, you're doing great. And then it comes to a time that we begin to think, is this the way of life I want? So on reflection, that is where we kind of look or diverge into multiple streams of income, or see what is out there. Yes, you were true. In our case, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. From the very beginning, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But we've been tuned to have a safety net always. Okay, so what is the safety net? Is to have a regular job and spend hours. So, and as you know that, as you said, that I was juggling into many things just to make sure like things are being done in the way it was supposed to be done by the society. I was looking for an opportunity, but you rightly pointed out it was Sharon, who, my wife, who kind of started this journey here because she was so desperate and she wanted a change. That's true.
Yeah. So, so I believe you initially had some concerns when she proposed this idea to you. So, what were your concerns when Sharana actually told you that she wanted to start a business?
I still remember that, because she came to me and said that she wanted to start an online business. Okay, maybe it was she who said to me that she wants to start an online business, because having known her for years now, I know how technically sound she is when coming to online things like looking at notifications or doing something, and even in Microsoft Word. So then when she said that she wants to do an online business for us, like we will look into many things. Like people have been scammed left, right, and center through many online businesses, and you can hear a lot of things happening around. And the last thing that you as a husband wondered is your wife to jump into anything that is scammy and lose her time, lose her credibility, and so on. So
Yeah.
yes, of course, I was skeptical. I was skeptical to the core. I said that this is a scam, and you're jumping into a scam. But at the end of the day, we all want peace. So I said, okay, go and try it. But I was doing my masters at that point of time, and I don't want to divert my attention. So I said, whatever you want to, you can do it, but don't involve me. That was the thing that I said to her.
I have to confess myself about me. I didn't tell my husband Lewis that I was starting a business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I just jumped into it. I think about 10-15 days into the business, I felt like he should know. Kind
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
The part he was upset was that I didn't inform him, because obviously a business, like any other business, there is an investment.
Mhm,
Then
mhm.
only it is a solid business, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you, there isn't any kind of thing, you'd wonder. So I think he was upset that I didn't actually tell him. But for me, the good thing is he always trusts my judgment. So then,
Mm,
when it comes to money, balancing the checkbook, as so to speak, he kind of trusts me, and then he was okay. But he was just initially upset that I didn't share that I was going to start. So, in your case, how did you overcome the
mm.
skepticism, and ultimately, what made you decide to jump into this business?
Yeah, it's same. Like I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. That was core in my, but I don't know where to start. To be honest, I didn't know where to start. So I was thinking into trading, things like that, conventional businesses. And then Sharon said about that point of time with the online business, but I was not in a mindset, or I was in a prejudiced mindset not to look at it. So and plus the fact that my situation at that point of time was concentrated on my studies. So then I saw that Sharon, as a laid back individual before, was investing her time on something, and after duty, she's coming and she's investing time to learn something. I didn't care what it is, but I could see there are some changes happening to her. So, from an individual who loved movies, Netflix, and all the things, she's investing time for training. That actually, then I thought, okay, something is happening. Let me look at what it is. Okay, but I didn't have time. So I could see Sharon was actually developing very much personally. Like personally, she's tuned in and she's doing something serious. I can see that there are small wins, but I was not paying attention to. She invited me many times to look at the compensation plan and see what is happening, but I was not willing, having this mentality, oh, I know it all, it's a scam. So that was my mentality, right? And then what actually, like I was at that point of time, I was ending my thesis and things, and then I could see, rather than not only the personal changes, there was some financial changes as well. So yeah, of course, and then she started earning. So Then I thought, okay, let me look at it because there are some results. So because it's it always says what is the line? It always says that your results will actually make your naysayers to think. So I was a naysayer, then our result made me to think what exactly it is. Let me open my eyes. So
Yeah.
I looked at it. I looked at how the business is being run, looked at the results, looked at the community, looked at the compensation plan, and then I can see there is some results. So then you would always think like, okay, there are some results, and then you can see that people who are in this business for 3 4 years, earning multiple times salary, 5 figure, 6 figure earners. So then you would always think if they are getting that result and we are getting this result, what are the things they consistently do so that they get this result? So that's it. Always I always believe success always leaves clues, and if you want to become that person, you just think about what they are doing. Okay,
Mhm.
and that's the thing about our community, because we have a training and we do have a mentoring programs plus masterminds where these people say, okay, I was in the same shoes that you were, but these are the things that we did.
Yeah.
So then I thought, okay, why don't we give it a try? You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the one thing is people around us, even in your workplace, like, people are noticing things. And sometimes you should actually think, okay, I know this person. I can see a change. I can see a change in her life. So that probably is a clue for people to say, okay, let me actually have an open mind to it and let me explore. Because when you're exploring, you have nothing to lose. If at all, you will gain some knowledge. And like yourself and myself, we give a lot of value in our pages. We share our lives, we share our experience, we share things how we have become successful by changing our mindset. So if not anything, you will get a lot of value if you just follow us and see. And maybe someday, your eyes and your ears will be open to actually think about maybe a different way of actually earning money, really, isn't it?
Yeah, look, when you look at it, every big opportunity was once a scam. Okay, so
Yep.
it was like, all the things. Even when the Wright brothers talked about a aeroplane, then it was just like mad people, like how we are. The things changed a lot when somebody brought the idea about the mobile phone. That would have been a maddest idea at that point of time, But then people took the idea and then acted upon. Then how their lives changed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, when you finally did venture into this business, what was your initial challenge that you faced and how did you overcome that?
I look. The biggest challenge was of course the mindset, because 20 to 30 years or 30 plus years we've been told to look at life in a certain perspective. So
Yeah.
I would always say that we've been tuned into an employee mindset where you have to work hard, then you have a scarcity mindset about, as you said, one particular point. All businesses, there involves an investment, right? The only thing that you could straight away walk into and start earning is a job, but this is not a job. Every business, if it is a legitimate business, involves investment, whether it is online or offline. But coming into with the skepticism, coming from an employee mindset, you won't buy into that idea. You won't buy into that idea because So I would say the biggest challenge was the mindset in itself. And then on the way that you would realize that entrepreneurship is not a goal in itself, but it's a journey. And then the income you earn or the rewards that you earn will always be directly proportional to the skill set that you develop on the way. So I would
Yeah.
say the biggest challenge was to understand these things and have a transition in your mindset, like these are the things that we need to do on a consistent basis. So the struggle was the mindset, because I always think that business is all about 90% is in your mind and 10% is action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I completely, when you start opening your eyes, you will actually start reading about things and then thinking like all that you believed all your life is actually, just, it's just completely wrong. I feel the system is completely rigged. I was about reading about, the how schools were formed. The actual school system was formed in England, and it was in the I think early 1800s or a bit earlier than that. Can't remember the dates completely at this time and moment. But why it was formed. It was formed because there was this group of industrial. It was when the industrial revolution. Yeah, it was during that time when the industrial revolution was forming. At that time, it was booming, so they needed workers. And at
Mhm.
that time, only the people who were rich, the privileged, were educated. But they needed the common man to be able to know basics like perhaps read and write English, know to count. So that's why in primary school, maths and English, because those are the basic skills that you need to do a job, isn't it? You need to know. So they needed, and it was, the how I was even seeing a TikTok video about, how, in the past 100 years the school system hasn't changed. Even in school, you're made to sit in rows, just like in factories, so, and you have to, and you're supposed to do as you're told. They don't give you, like, if you wanted to share your idea. Nowadays, I have to say there is some space, but not entirely, because the exams are still memorize, mug it all up, and just go and vomit the exams, isn't it? That system has not. And now, when you see Google at the tips of your fingers, Chat GPT able to give you thesis and essays, why do you need the system, really? And even after 100 and 200 years of schooling, which was started because they wanted factory people to behave in a certain way, line up in a row, so that, when the those conveyor belt sort of things come through, or they had to pass things. So that's how even people are seated. And we are still in that outdated system. And school was created so that they could get good employees who are educated enough to able to read and calculate. And that's why I feel the system is completely rigged.
Yeah, so in summary, you are trained to acquire those skill set that is needed for the industrialist to make you work in
Yeah,
certain according to certain parameters,
yeah.
but you are not trained to think financially or things that will be betterment
For
for you.
yourself, basically, because you're not given the space to think for your, like, I always tell a story of my daughter. I've actually done a video on it. My daughter once came, they had a mathematical problem which she solved, yeah. And that mathematical problem, she reached the right answer, but the way she reached the answer was not the way that the teacher wanted. And,
Yeah.
like, in sometimes in maths it's like 3-4 marks question, so she got only 1 mark, even though
That
she
was
got
right.
the right answer. And when she asked the teacher, but I got the right answer, miss. Well, this is not the way you have to do it. But at the end of the day, she got the right answer. So they are being taught, that creativity, at an young age, is being snuffed.
Yeah.
And that's really wrong. And it's not like, one size fits all. Everybody is not, I believe firmly, everybody is not academic. There are lots of people who are not academic, but that doesn't make them stupid. you know so everyone has a gift. And if you look at the world itself, like, most entrepreneurs have ADHD, and they are the ones who are usually
Yeah.
thriving. All of them, they're
Yeah.
either dyslexic,
Yeah.
and people who are academic are actually working for them. Does that make
Exactly.
sense?
Yeah.
That's how the world is. And that's because how we're taught in school.
Yeah, because we've been trained to think in a certain way and to acquire those skill sets, so that we can be utilized to work for somebody else, but they won't give you the financial education that is needed for you to become successful.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you might be seeing people say multiple times there is no financial education in schools, but you've been trained to think in certain way or do things in a certain way.
absolutely. Okay, so next I wanted to ask you, was there any, what, of all the strategies that you use? So we are in an online business, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what was the most effective strategy that you found in growing your business?
Oh yeah, so that's a, that's a big question. Like the we started this business 2.5 years back, right? And then coming into, at that time, Facebook was Facebook, Insta was Insta, WhatsApp was WhatsApp. And then now we came into an age, it's called Meta. And then it is Meta kinds of own Insta, Facebook, and WhatsApp. So the strategies, when you ask me what is the one strategy, I won't be able to say there is a one strategy, because the online marketing world is changing constantly.
Mhm.
So, but I would say one thing, okay. What made us successful at this point of time is to see, relating back to the thing that I said, the success always leave clues. So when you look at people who are having some results, and you see what are they doing that we are not doing, and then adapting ourselves to those things, and then evolving in such a manner, was the main strategy that helped us. So previously, like say we are online marketers, and then the client acquisition, the cost per client acquisition was increased in Facebook. Then at that point of time, we looked at, because we are doing a business, then we look, okay, is there any other platforms that we can use? Then we kind of adapted to that. So we kind of used primarily Google, YouTube, and all. That is giving us, I would say, 3x results than what it was before. And now there is a big thing coming as TikTok, and we are, if you are going to, so the thing is, like, as I said, entrepreneurship is not a goal, it's a journey, and your ability to adapt to the changes that is happening is I would say that would be the strategy that you have to concentrate.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And when you was just saying this, I was thinking about one thing. In school, we are taught not to copy.
Yeah.
But in real life, we just have to copy people who've made it.
Yes.
Because and that's the thing. So we are not even, our mindset is completely rigged to be like an employee, never to ask questions, never to question the status quo, never to have think about if there's another way. But what we need, the most important thing here, is to break free from that ideology, isn't it? And that takes time. It took me, Rishad, it took me 2 years.
That's why I said that the biggest is that what was the biggest challenge? The
Mindset.
biggest challenge was mindset. I always think, like, if you just visualize where you want to reach, you want to reach somewhere, and then you have that burning desire to reach that particular goal, and things will come to you. The knowledge will come to you, the informations will come to you. The only thing that is needed is to see things in a very open perspective. And then, as you said, success always leaves clues. There are trails that you can follow, and once you pass through those trials and errors, and then you kind of copied that success pathway, then you can adapt, then you can improvise. But first, lead that, and that go through that path,
Yeah.
and then adapt. Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's this blueprint which we have to follow. That's same in whatever business, like any business. It doesn't have to be the online business. It can be even selling products and things. It's the mindset. So those principles will not change in any sort of business. But of course, like what you say, strategies keep changing. How we deliver things keep changing, because the world is moving at such a fast pace. AI is taking over. You either love it or you hate it, but if you love it or hate it, people who embrace it are going to 10x 100x their results, isn't it, than a person who's not actually utilizing any of those things.
Exactly. Your success in any industry just depends upon that magic word, your adaptability. Just look at, like, when the mobile phones, cellular phones all came up. I still remember my dad using that Ericsson model, and then it was Nokia. I couldn't see an Ericsson now. There is no Nokia. When we think, we kind of talk about iPhone, Samsung, Google. Where is that Nokia gone? There's not
Yeah,
able to
that's
adapt.
also, it's funny that you're talking about phones. Like, did you know the first camera phone was not the iPhone? I don't know whether you know, because it was the year when I passed the year 6 months before I passed medical school. It was a Nokia model called 6600. So
Okay.
that was the first.
I
Well,
remember
that was
Nokia was
because I passed medical school. My dad bought it for me.
yeah.
So I know. And and you would think they should have crushed the market, but it was like holding a brick. Really, it was like holding a brick.
Yeah.
But you know the thing is, when people are not willing to adapt to changes,
Yeah.
that leads to their downfall, really.
Exactly. No, no, they're not willing to. You say, for instance, like, I would say this is a kind of cheeky example, but at the moment, like we've been getting enquiries about the business and all, and then we said about this is how the business is, this is how it works, and then we kind of use an automated system to sell the things, and so say, okay, I'm not going to say all the things about the business because I have 20 enquiries coming in, so I encourage you to watch a pre-coaching video and look, and so the first thing I'm just saying about the mentality. Oh, is it free? Yeah. So where is the premium? So we've been tuned in such a way, like I'm saying about an opportunity that you could see and change your life, and then you are thinking about starting something which is absolutely free, which is basically going back to your employee mindset. The only thing that you could walk into is a job without an investment. So it's people's ability to adapt. That is their downfall, as you say.
Yeah. And once you open your mind to it, you will be surprised that, you know, we all can, if we are in the mindset, but I don't have the money, that's not the way you look at it. How can you get the money?
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't it? So that is, obviously, I'm not going into that. That's a completely, I'm
Completely.
very passionate about these things. So I think that's for another day. Everyone can source the money. There's always friends, family, there's the bank, you can release equity from your homes. There's so many ways to do it, really. So that's not the excuse. It's your mindset that's just standing in the way.
So
Anyway, Rishad, we've been talking for 26 minutes. I think we'll have to let our audience go. But it was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. So if any of you are inspired by our talk and want to know more about the business, please send us a message. So wherever you're watching live, whether it's Sharon or Rishad's page or my page, Dr. Susie and Lewis, DG World, or on us on YouTube or something, just drop us a message, drop us a comment below where this is being broadcast, and we are more than happy to talk you through the next steps to show you the path to actual financial freedom. What if we are telling you an opportunity where you can, if you put the mind and effort to it, you can retire in 5 years. Yep. And there are people retiring less. So would you rather spend 40 years of your life working to retire in a pension that's pants, or would you like to retire in 5 years to live a life of freedom, to enjoy the things life is just once, and I think we all deserve to enjoy our life and spend it with the people we love. Don't you think so, Rishad?
very much so, very much so. And then when you say maybe when you're looking into a skeptical way that I used to look, it may sound like a scam, but I would say one thing: every big opportunity was once a scam.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and
You just
then
need to watch history. Every major accomplishment, people thought they were scammers, all
yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Just need to watch history, read a bit about things, and yeah, and just open your mind. At the end of the day, to know this opportunity, it doesn't cost you anything at all. So thank you once again, Rishad, and it was a pleasure having you here. Thank you, everyone, and it is a good afternoon here from the UK and a good morning from the US. So take care, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.